the price of knowing too much. Too soon, information without grounding destroys balance. There is a kind of knowledge that doesn't educate, it unsettles. A truth that doesn't liberate, it overwhelms. African elders warned, when the mind runs ahead of the soul, collapse follows. Before we go deeper, subscribe, because this channel exists to protect wisdom, not rush it. 1. Knowledge was never meant to arrive all at once. In African tradition, knowledge did not come as a flood. It arrived like rain in seasons. Elders believed the human mind is a container, and containers crack when filled too quickly. That is why wisdom was given in layers, not lectures. A child learned survival, a youth learned responsibility, an adult learned consequence, an elder learned truth. Skipping stages was considered dangerous, not because people were weak, but because truth carries weight. This is why initiation existed, not to exclude, but to protect the unprepared. Knowing too much too soon creates confusion, not clarity. You begin to see patterns before you understand purpose. You recognize injustice before you've developed resilience. You awaken questions your emotional body cannot yet hold. Elders said, if your spirit is still soft, sharp truths will cut it. Why some people awaken and others collapse. Two people can receive the same knowledge and have opposite outcomes. One becomes calm, grounded, purposeful. The other becomes anxious, detached, angry, or lost. African philosophy explains this simply. Knowledge amplifies what already exists within you. If your foundation is strong, knowledge strengthens you. If your foundation is fractured, knowledge widens the cracks. This is why elders watched people before teaching them. Not to judge, but to measure capacity. Were you disciplined? Were you emotionally stable? Did you know how to sit with silence? Could you carry secrets without poisoning yourself? Because knowledge does not come alone. It brings responsibility, awareness, and sometimes isolation. Many people break not because truth is evil, but because truth removes illusions they were still living inside. 3. The mental and spiritual consequences of rushing truth. Modern society glorifies instant access, information on demand, answers without preparation. But African wisdom warns, fast truth without grounding leads to imbalance. This imbalance shows up as overthinking, emotional numbness, loss of belonging, spiritual confusion, identity fragmentation. You start questioning everything, but anchoring to nothing. Elders describe this as a head walking faster than the feet. You know things your nervous system cannot regulate yet. You see realities your heart cannot process yet. You sense injustice without the wisdom to act on it. That's when people say, I wish I never knew this. I miss who I was before. I feel awake, but broken. Knowledge came, but grounding did not follow. 4. Why elders delayed. Truth on purpose silence was not ignorance. Delay was not cruelty, delay was mercy. African elders believed truth should meet you when your spirit can stand upright under it. They waited for emotional maturity, life experience, loss, humility, discipline, not because pain was required, but because pain deepens capacity. Certain truths make sense only after betrayal, others only after grief, some only after failure. Elders said, truth that arrives before experience becomes poison. That is why some knowledge was whispered. Some danced, some hidden in stories, some only revealed at night, some never written at all. The price paid by those who rush the unseen. Those who seek knowledge too early often pay with peace, simplicity, belonging, certainty. They become between worlds, too aware to live casually, too ungrounded to live deeply. This is why some awakened people feel lonely, why others struggle to connect, why some carry heaviness they cannot explain. African elders never called this a curse. They called it misaligned timing. Truth did not break them. Timing did. The right way. Knowledge was meant to enter you. African wisdom taught balance before revelation. First, discipline, patience, character, community. Then, insight, awareness, truth, power. Knowledge without character creates chaos. Knowledge with grounding creates elders. That is why some people survive awakening and others don't. Not because they are smarter, but because they are ready. Why curiosity alone was never enough. In African wisdom, curiosity was respected, but it was never trusted by itself. Elders believed curiosity opens doors, but discipline decides which doors should be entered. This is why asking questions too early was discouraged. Not because questions were dangerous, but because answers reshape identity. Without discipline, curiosity turns into obsession, and obsession leads people into truths they are not anchored enough to survive. Elders said, "A wandering mind can stumble into sacred fire." Knowledge alters your relationship with reality. Once certain knowledge enters you, you cannot return to innocence. You see patterns others ignore. You notice manipulation where others see normalcy. You recognize silence as language. African elders warned that this shift must be gradual, because sudden awareness fractures relationships, beliefs, and self-image. This is why people who awaken too fast often feel disconnected, misunderstood, alienated, emotionally heavy. Knowledge didn't give them peace. It removed illusions they were still using to cope. Why elders tested character before teaching. Truth before knowledge was given, elders observed behavior. How do you treat people with less power? How do you react to correction? Can you hold silence without anxiety? Can you carry truth without needing applause? Because knowledge does not change who you are. It reveals who you are. African elders believed if ego receives knowledge first, destruction follows. That is why some were delayed. That is why some were never told. That is why some truths arrived only after humility was learned the hard way. The emotional weight of seeing too clearly. Clarity is not always comforting. Seeing clearly means seeing hypocrisy, seeing cycles repeat, seeing how power truly moves, seeing why certain people never change. African wisdom taught that clarity without emotional strength leads to despair. This is why elders paired knowledge with grounding rituals, community, storytelling, labor, and rhythm. Truth alone isolates. Truth grounded in life stabilizes. Why pain often precedes real understanding. Pain was never glorified, but it was respected. African elders noticed something consistent. People who experienced loss, failure, or betrayal could hold truth without breaking. Pain strengthens internal capacity. It humbles the ego. It quiets the need to prove. That is why some truths only arrive after suffering, not as punishment, but because the soul finally has room to hold them. The difference between wisdom and information. Information tells you what is. Wisdom teaches you how to live with it. African culture never separated knowledge from application. Knowing without integration was considered dangerous. This is why elders said, if knowledge does not make you gentler, it arrived too early. Wisdom steadies. Information alone agitates. Why some people lose themselves after awakening. Not everyone who awakens becomes wiser. Some become bitter, some become arrogant, some become detached. African elders explained this as awakening without grounding. When awareness rises faster than emotional maturity, identity collapses. People feel above others, yet deeply alone. Awakening was never meant to isolate. It was meant to deepen responsibility. The silent responsibility of knowing more knowledge carries obligation. Once you know, you are accountable for your actions, words, and influence. African wisdom teaches, the more you know, the less freedom you have to act recklessly. This responsibility is heavy. That's why elders delayed knowledge. Not everyone wants the burden that comes with seeing clearly. Why timing matters more than truth. Truth does not expire, but timing determines whether it heals or harms. African elders believed truth that arrives at the wrong time does not liberate. It destabilizes. That is why some doors close, why some answers don't come, why silence sometimes protects more than speech. The price of knowing too much too soon is not ignorance, it is imbalance. Wisdom was never hidden to control people. It was hidden to protect them. If you've ever felt like learning something disrupted your peace instead of improving it, this message was for you. If you want the next video, how elders prepared the mind before revealing truth, tell me in the comments. And subscribe, because wisdom should arrive when you're strong enough to carry it.